Kill him.
My turn.
How you doing, guys? BBird here again with another battle against Alice, and she actually challenged me over YouTube, or well, her cousin did on her behalf, so I thought it'd be pretty fun to sort of, you know, check it out, see how she goes. So I lead off with my Gengar, and I use Hypnosis, and she leads with Evile, and I'm like, well, it could be choice banded or something. I don't really know. Not many people lead off with Electivire. It's mostly meant to be a surprise, but you know, anyway. So Hypnosis hits, and I hit him with a Shadow Ball, and I go for another Shadow Ball, and I end up taking it out. So that was a pretty good start for me. Almost back up to full health, and I've got a sub up. So that's great. She brings out Ludicolo, and from my Ludicolo, I know that this Pokemon is strong in special defense, so I didn't really know how to take care of it, but I had a sub up. So I thought, well, I might as well attack. But she actually said, she actually cracked it, and she's just like, don't do that sleep rubbish. So I thought, well, I could put it to sleep again, but if with the sub up and with the sleep, I could probably just sweep the whole team. So I decided to make it more fun and not use sleep anymore. So I decided to attack with the sub up. She uses Rain Dance, and I was looking for the Rain Dish, and she didn't have it, so that means it's a Swift Swim, Ludicolo. And she uses Hydro Pump, and Hydro Pump missed once, and she was sort of going on and saying how lucky I was that it missed, but really, if you use Hydro Pump when there's Surf, which is almost as good and 100% accurate, I don't know, you sort of only really have yourself to blame. But maybe that's just me. So anyway, she breaks the sub eventually, and I decided to go to Snorlax, my special wall, and it's actually a fairly decent chunk, and that means it's a really high special attack. But seeing as how much damage it took, that's just a ridiculous Ludicolo. So, but anyway, so she switches to Togekiss, and I didn't really know why. I suspect because she wanted to use Aura Sphere, but I know for a fact that Aura Sphere will not do all that much comparatively to Snorlax. So I use Body Slam again, she uses Aura Sphere, and I get Power Hacks. And this probably did make a small difference, but she didn't use Roost, she withdrew it, so that means maybe didn't have Roost or something. But she switched to Gengar, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm fine with that, because you know, it's another special attacker, I can just wall it. And she uses Hypnosis, and I'm like, you know, for all the ranting and raving that she did about me using sleep, calling it rubbish and all that, she just put mine to sleep, but, you know, whatever. Not too worried about that, because this actually happens to be a Rest Talker Snorlax. So, it was all good for me, and, providing she actually knew what standard rules were, it means I had a Pokemon to sleep, and there was nothing, she couldn't put anything else to sleep. So, she brings out her Weavile thinking she could get a Brick Break off, but I switched to Gyarados, and, when she switches out, I don't know if it was because of the Intimidate or she just knew she wasn't going to get anywhere, but I got a Dragon Dance off, and then I realized how stupid it was, because Gengar still outspeeds Gyarados with max speed after a Dragon Dance. So I was a little bit pissed off that I did that, but I just thought, well, I'll just go back to Snorlax and I'll try and get a Sleep Talk off. So she switches out again, and she goes back to Weavile, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay, I'll just try another Sleep Talk, and I get a Crunch, which is all I was really aiming to do. I just wanted to do some damage to it, because on the off chance that it was Focus Sashed, I didn't want to risk losing anything to it. So she uses Brick Break again, and I go back to Gyarados, which is, you know, fine. I'm happy to go in this circle for a while. And at this point, she cracked it again, and she was telling me I switched too much, and she was telling me to leave Snorlax in when Weavile was in, and I'm like, why would I leave Snorlax in? Like, it's, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. She has her way of playing and I have mine, so that's fine. I went back to Snorlax, and because I knew the T-Bolt was coming, but this time I didn't Dragon Dance. I used the Waterfall before, so now Gengar is almost dead. And she decides to keep it in and use Sludge Bomb. I don't know if she thought this was just going to go around in circles, or she was trying to make some damage, or whatever, but she went with the Sludge Bomb again. I woke up after a 5-turn sleep and used Crunch to finish it off. So I'm okay with that. Now, here's where it gets a little bit difficult. Unfortunately, Weavile is actually like the Achilles heel of this team. Like, if it's Choice Banded, it's not so bad, which is what I think it is. So it's not so bad now, but I saw the Brick Break coming, and I thought, well, I might as well switch it up a little bit, and I went back to Claydol. Oh yeah, and this is her saying don't switch and all that, and she's saying, oh my god, I can't believe you switched, and blah 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 blah. So it was pretty funny. So I decided to take this turn to get some rocks up, and she brings out her Togekiss again, which I'm still fine with. I sort of figured I could take it out with an Ice Beam, but as it turns out, I really couldn't, and I always seem to overestimate Claydol's special attack. But at the same time, it does have pretty beastly defenses, and I got my rocks up, which is the important thing. So even if it was a 2-hit KO, I'm not too worried. So she uses Flamethrower, which didn't really do much, and I take it out with the Ice Beam. And that's sort of why I thought the Power Hacks didn't really matter, because there wasn't much she could have done anyway, by the looks of it. So I switch out to Tyranitar here, because I was suspecting a Night Slash maybe, but I wasn't sure about the Ice Punch, and I thought, well, if it Ice Punches, it's not the worst thing that could happen. It can still survive, and it can still hit back. But she did Ice Punch, and I do survive too, and that does tell me that it's Choice Banded, so that's not so bad. But I thought if I Thunderbolt, even if I don't kill it, the Sandstorm will kill it, but it didn't. And I was left in a bit of a predicament there, because I didn't want to lose Tyranitar just in case. And I knew that it was locked on Ice Punch, so I thought, well, I'll just let Sandstorm kill it, and I'll bring in Snorlax, right? So I did that, and Snorlax, takes the Ice Punch like a beast because of thick fat, and she brings in Garchomp, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously, I am so sick of, like, having a Tyranitar on me, on the occasion that I do. Everyone always brings a Garchomp, and it always has Sandstream, or Sandveil, sorry, Sandveil. So I Body Slam, predicting a Swords Dance or a Sub or something ridiculous like that. But I get the Power Hacks, and this is probably the one point where I think it maybe would have mattered. But on the other hand, she got the Swords Dance off, and against Claydol, I'm pretty sure Claydol can survive it. I'm pretty sure. But even then, if I wasn't paralyzed, I probably would have switched to Garchomp and then use like Tyranitar for not Garchomp, Gyarados, and then go into Tyranitar for Death Fodder. So that way, like, I would have negated like a Swords Dance, and it would have just made my life a whole lot easier. So it didn't matter really. So she uses Ice Beam. She probably learned from a lesson last time not to use Hydro Pump because it's so low, because of the low accuracy. And I took it out, and that's the game. It was a good game, and I'll see you guys later.